2 months. First, it was the alleged $10 million for backing off from the National Broadband Network project, and then the alleged $200 again for the NBN deal. Last week, it was the reported cash doleouts coming from Malacanang. All this serving as a backdrop to the bizarre scene that played out in the House of Representatives Thursday. Allies of President Arroyo pushing for the impeachment complaint against her, while members of the opposition trying to block it. In the end, with House Speaker Jose de Venecia inhibiting himself from proceedings, the not-so-highly regarded impeachment complaint reached the Justice Committee, which effectively immunized President Arroyo from impeachment for 1 year. After having survived 2 impeachment complaints, many thought that the President would have the last 3 years of her term smooth and easy. But will that be the case? Our guests tonight, the Speaker of the House, Jose de Venecia, and his son, the ZTE whistleblower, Joey de Venecia. Join us as we go behind the scenes of the political battlefields. I'm your host, Pion Tiveros. This is Strictly Politics. Welcome to Strictly Politics, Speaker de Venecia. Thank you so much for coming back today and see. You were on The Explainer a while ago.
Yes.
Yeah, and explaining.
Thank you, Pia, for inviting me and my son.
Yes,
Joey.
yes. And Joey, thank you. Thank you for being here. And I'm so glad to see the two of you together.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, actually, to start this off on a very light note and just to make you guys feel relaxed. So who's the better looking de Venecia?
Oh, my son. By far,
okay.
by far. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
the Speaker.
The Speaker. So this is a mutual admiration club.
Of course.
Huh?
Of course.
Ever since, your dad has been your idol, Joey.
Father raised me since I was 6 months old.
When I was minister to Vietnam during the war, I brought him with me.
The war?
During the Vietnam War, I was minister, economic counselor at the embassy. I brought him with me. He was 4 years old. And he was there in the front lines. And he shook hands with General Westmoreland and General Abrams and General Tobias.
Wow, okay.
And Eddie Ramos, who was then a major.
Do you remember that?
Parts of it, yes, yes.
Parts of it, yes. Because I remember one of the things that you were saying during the impeachment, the impeachment trial, during the ZTE hearings, during all these interviews, you always said that it was your father who was your role model, that you grew up on what he has taught you.
Yes, I grew up on my value system. It was formed by my father. My work ethic was formed from my father. And my admiration for him in how he handles himself, his demeanor, I try to follow, and that's who I am today. I'm not a replica of my father. I have my own mind, but our values, I hope, are aligned, which I know they are.
Okay. Well, sometimes they always say that the children are the improved versions of their parents.
For sure.
I mean, that's of course a compliment to the parents, for sure, diba? Are you proud of your son, Mrs. Speaker?
I'm very, very proud of my son.
In spite of the fact that he brought you through hell and high water.
And I have all kinds of difficulties and problems with 4 cases filed against me.
Okay, and
all because he had to tell the truth. Because he was courageous and brave and truthful. And I had to support him.
Yeah. Yeah, but Mrs. Speaker, I'm sure we all have kids, so sometimes when they're gonna do something, parang natatakot ka para sa kanila.
Yes.
At natatakot din kayo siguro para sa sarili nyo, di ba?
But the main reason I was supporting him was that his proposal, I was not supporting him per se as my son, but the idea that I was supporting is that big, huge government projects like this one should be done without cost to the government, without government loan, without government guarantee, without government subsidy, without government expense, because their proposal is strictly 100% private investment, no government expense, as against the 2 other proposals, even if they are coming from strong, powerful companies and powerful nations like the United States company and the Chinese company, but it would involve a major expenditure by the Philippine government, a major cost to the Philippine government, a major expense to the Philippine government.
Okay, but of course, that
as father of the BOT program, together with Congressman Fayumo, I was fighting for this. And I think all government infrastructure projects, provided that they can stand on their 2 feet on their balance sheet, should be done under build, operate, transfer law and on public bidding.
Yeah, okay. But of course, Mr. Speaker, you were raked over the coals for that, no? Several senators, administration senators, interpreted that as meaning that you were lobbying for your son's proposal, that you were interfering.
I was lobbying for the idea so that parang we can save the Philippine government 16 billion pesos or $330 million.
Okay. So we're talking about the ZTE deal. Parang bang ito yung ano to? Uno. Ito yung umpisa di ba, ng lahat.
Yeah.
Joey, and I wanted to ask, let's talk first about what's happened very recently, Mr. Speaker. This I really want to know from you. What really happened for Mr. Speaker? Did you have no choice but to allow that impeachment, the Pulido impeachment complaint, to be referred to the Justice Committee? You really had no choice? You couldn't stop it?
Well, the day before, I ordered an investigation of the bribery attempt to endorse the Pulido complaint.
Yeah, this is the one that involved